GMGN. So, I think we finally reached a local bottom for Bowden. I mentioned this yesterday, and I think this is it. Now, for me, if I'm going to take another trade on Bowden, I'll use the 4-hour bands as a trigger and then a trending point. Because when I see them cross, that's when I know I'll be able to enter my trend, and that should be my trend support. So, for example, the 4-hour bands crossing, and then you're able to ride the 4-hour trend until it breaks. So until that 4-hour trend completes, and I think it will complete today or possibly tomorrow, it needs to push a little higher and hold, and then you'll see an impulse coming off it. At that point, I'd look for an entry. I'd be looking at, it should, the debate is only the 27th. It should at that point be able to stay in a 4-hour trend until the debate, to whatever point it peaks out at. Where I would expect some selling, I would expect probably a lower high to form there. I would say roughly, if the debate is here on the 27th, I don't know, I would say Bowden can probably hold and move up and double top around that time and then come back. If it's dead, it'll just go lower from there. If it's going to form a bottom, it'll start to range at that point and compress probably for several weeks and then move up from that level. And so I think the debate itself is going to be the catalyst for some kind of move. My expectation would be pretty simple, around 20 cents. That's like a SR level here. Exactly 20 is right there. There's obviously going to be sellers at 20. I think it runs into initial resistance at 20. It then pushes beyond 20 for the people who sell at 20. And then I think it eventually retraces all this if it does. So I may or may not trade it. I'll put it in swing trader chat if I do. I'll also mention it in the trading analysis if I'm gonna. But for me, I'll wait. This time I will definitely wait for the bands to cross, even though I'm very confident this is the bottom, because I had a trigger for a couple of days ago, and part of it was I think it might actually take one push lower, and it did. And so that push lower is actually further confirmation for me, as further confirmation of a bottom, because it's like the Wyckoff, PS, and then the climax. Sometimes you get your long just too soon, then the actual bottom comes. And from there, I don't expect any retest, which is why I'm waiting. If it pushes back down there, then it's not. It's not the bottom. There should be no retest. It should barely even dip here. It should actually just trend, because it leaves people behind. That tends to be how it moves. So that's Bowden. I think it does present an opportunity for a long, especially if BTC and ETH hold up and start to trend higher into next week. Pepe as well. So Pepe, there's a couple levels here. There's actually two previous all-time high levels. So you've got this all-time high wick, but then you've got this first major all-time high from March all-time high, and that is the level I see on Pepe as a potential for a retest. And I think that's the best place to get in. So you've had a test, a dip below, a retest. And I think that Pepe will give a retest at that level. Now it might push up here and then eventually dip down into it. But I think that March all-time high retest will probably come once more. If it doesn't dip down right now, because the bands are failing to flip green, I think it will give a retest of that at some point as it's trending higher. It might even take out this high first, then drop back. And for me, on Pepe, my main thing is I'm waiting for... that's the wrong thing. My main thing is that I'm waiting for that. That old March all-time high retest, I think on a higher time frame basis, will give you a great entry for Pepe. What I probably expect to see is that it comes up here. So it breaks this downtrend line. And that's where people start to pile in, thinking, oh, this is now it. And it's just slightly too soon. It flushes back down. There's an inefficiency down there, and it refills it. And if I show a clean chart here that I was drawing out yesterday, and I go on a lower time frame and I take off some of this other stuff here, and I just want to take off the bands as well. I just want a clean chart with just that one level and show how Pepe has a nice little inefficiency here, right? So there's an old block of demand down there, the old order block of this level. Also, it moved up and it set a higher low, so it front ran that, and there's a little gap left there which can get filled. Bear in mind that there's still plenty of room below with other gaps. So when I see like a gap here, that's fine. When I see even gaps here, that's fine. If it's coming off the absolute low, they don't have to get filled. But anything in between, I look at where are people getting long. Okay, so people get long after impulses. They get long here and they put their stop there. So those people haven't been taken out yet. Everyone who got long up in this area all got taken out here. Anyone who got long there over at this point got taken out here. So that's fine. I want to see people's longs getting stopped out. And that's why I'm looking at this level. Now it takes time. It won't come straight there. But I look at this area and everybody who's got long Pepe since yesterday, right? If you got long on this push, or you're long here, or you're getting long now, a lot of stops are going to be there where that blue line is. And it might take, I don't think it will just go like this. I don't think that will happen. I think it will actually push, and it might even go higher first, and it might continue to build stops down into it. And I think that I'm fairly confident that at some point you will get this sweep, and you will get that opportunity to get in when others get taken out, and that March all-time high retest level will be a solid re-entry point for some longs. And if you zoom out again and you take off that and you put on the bands, you can see Pepe is still, battling with trying to flip the bands back to bullish. So it's not it's certainly not all systems go to be long Pepe yet. And I think that many people who are getting long here are getting long too soon. And it could actually still be bearish, although that deep wick below and holding, I think, is a sign that Pepe is trying to bottom out. And as we push towards the ETH ETF launch date, Pepe is probably a decent beta play. So very strong level, price pushed above it. It's acted as support. We dip down. I think there'll be one more chance to get a dip into that if and when that comes. I think that offers a great entry point for longs because you're getting in when others are getting wrecked. You can then define your risk, and I think that will offer one of the better trades. So I'm sitting patiently waiting for that. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But there we are. GM. See you later on the live stream. Mega Bulls only crossover stream. 5 p.m. UTC. GM.